All right, guys, what's going on? We're live and direct. This is a live podcast with my main man, Charif.
Yeah.
So the stuff today, we're going to talk about, how we personally met each other, personal training life, social media talk, natural talk. Obviously, his prep. If you guys are following him right now, you know he's in prep, along with a bit of nutrition. So we're going to be a bit all over the place today, but it's all going to be time-stamped. We're going to have a lot of fun, man. So,
yeah, talking about everything.
Yes, sir.
That's it. So yeah, let's just start about how we met.
Yeah, so the way I met Charif was basically on social media.
Yeah.
There was this video that was going viral and said 13 years natural training.
Yeah.
And I saw it on my feed. And yeah, then I found out in the comment section that he was in Montreal. So I reached out to him. And the rest is basically history. We just started talking from there. And it really makes the most sense because as you get older, you start to realize, the type of crowd you want to surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And it was just low-hanging fruit. It just made the most sense.
And it's hard to find people that are into fitness or doing what you're doing, like-minded people wherever you're at. So that's really a blessing for me that we were able to kind of connect and started lifting together, filming some stuff. Now starting this podcast because after a certain age, it's hard. It's hard to make connections, friends, and even wherever you guys are. I know a lot of you might get isolated because then you go in this fitness journey, the bodybuilding lifestyle, and you get isolated too easily. And if you want to do content and get yourself out there, it's always easier when you guys are 2 or 3, filming more videos together, helping each other, kind of each one bring their own fire, and then that flame goes bigger. Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, like, there's strength in numbers, So
yeah. That's
we're
true.
strong. We're already strong alone, but when you surround yourself with people who are, like-minded, it's just gonna bring the message. Because that's ultimately what it's about. It's the way I view it is you have people who are involved in the fitness world, and you have people who are not involved, and we're just trying to get as many people involved as possible in their own way.
And it also gets a little bit tricky because sometimes someone can be into fitness, but you don't necessarily bond well with them. You don't necessarily relate with them, or it just doesn't click. So you don't want to force the connections. But when it happens that you meet someone that has the same goals as you, and also the same values, that's where it's like 1 + 1 = 10. Because then it's like you guys combine your strength, and it's not just about filming content, but then there's a friendship behind it, and that's what's cool about it. Yeah. So
a lot of it comes down to like the stories.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Charif and I, we have very similar stories. We're both from Montreal, both trainers, more on the in-person side, obviously making our rounds into more online as well as we go more, as we try to broaden our brands. But we used to train at M Fitness. And I was in M Fitness the same time you were in M Fitness.
Yeah, probably.
But I never saw you once, training
at
different times.
Yeah. And also the fact that we're both natural, I think that's something that for you wanted to reach out to me, because it's like if now natural bodybuilding is becoming more and more popular, because I feel like people are becoming desensitized of all the juiced up people online, right?
Yeah.
So when you see someone natural that has a pretty good shape, a pretty good physique, and been doing it for a long time, it's cool to connect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
So let's dive into that. What made you stay natural, or what's...
So what made me stay natural? It's crazy, but when I started, I never thought I would stay natural. I always thought that at 25, I'll jump on gear, or at 26, or at 27, or at 28. When I started training, I used to look up to the big guys and be like, I want to be like them, but as big. And I never had the idea in my mind that I just want to stay natural. But then I just kept going because in my mind, it's like, well, I'm going to maximize my natural potential first before jumping on gear, because I loved it so much that for me, I wanted to do the best possible scenario. And I heard that the longer you wait, the better results you'll get later on. I didn't want to jump on gear right away. So I got pretty good results naturally up until the age of 22, 23. That's where I was benching 3 plate at that time, and I got injured. I injured my shoulder. So it took me 1 whole year, 23 to 24, I was barely able to do a push-up. I was going to the gym, but doing a lot of like high reps, time under tension stuff. Just going to the gym just because I loved it. I did a lot of legs. Maybe that explains why my quads are pretty good. But at that age, a lot of people around me were already jumping on gear because for them, they were actually at that stage. But me, I was injured, so I was looking at them doing it, and I'm like, all right, just wait until I heal, I'm jumping on gear. Just wait until I heal, I'm jumping on gear. And as soon as I healed, I'm like, all right, I gotta get back where I was. I gotta get back where I was first, get in my best shape first, and then I'll jump on gear. It was always like, I gotta do this and then I'll jump on gear. Like, I was like doing the research. I had a friend that were like, okay, I wanna do it.
Right, should be good.
But yeah, so I was always waiting, kind of waiting, and then injury. It took me almost a year to get back to where I was before my injury. And then I was like 25, 26, I was maturing with age. And I'm like, I'm seeing pretty good results. Those guys that took gear when I was injured, I'm seeing the effect on them. And you mature, I feel like after 25, if you didn't take gear after 25, you're less likely. Because most people, they take it at 17, 18, 20, 21. They're still young, they don't know the real, what comes with it. But then after 25, 26, I started saying like, hey, I'm doing pretty good naturally. Why don't I keep going that way? And honestly, I kept getting injured. Like, I really believe that's what stopped me from taking gear, is that every time I would keep getting injured, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get back to where I was. You know how crazy I am. Sometimes that's like, I'm in a fight with myself, and I'm like, I wanna optimize every single thing. And one day I posted on Instagram, that's like 2 years ago after a lower back injury. I was on my couch laying, and I'm like, I posted a video of me flexing, and I'm like, 13 years of consistency. I never mentioned natural. I just said, this is 13 years of consistency. And then this video blew up, and everybody's like, that's what a natural body looks like. So I'm like, oh, okay, everybody's saying I'm natural, and they like it, the fact that I'm natural, so I'll just roll with that, you know? And I just kept posting like natural stuff, and now it's like I'm more focused on natural bodybuilding, or my videos is more for naturals, but it was never my intent, you know? Yeah.
Got you.
You know what I mean? It's like, 5 years ago, you would have asked me, I would have been like, okay, at 30, I want to take roids. At 35, always later, you know? And now, I'm 29. In my mind now, at 45, I might take TRT, you know? That's how I think now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know, yeah.
But like I was mentioning before, like with the fitness world in general, there's trends that come and go.
Yeah.
And over time, people get desensitized to certain things. And shout out to Nick Wright. He made a really good video talking about, you know, the evolution of the fitness world over the years, especially YouTube fitness. And you see these trends come and go all the time, you know. And I personally feel like, you know, you heard it here first. Naturals will be the trend sooner than later.
Yeah.
And then because it's just more relatable, and you see guys like the Suliks and they're, you know, he's talking in his
Trent
car.
Twins and those guys, yeah.
But you see Sulik especially, like he talks in his car and everyone says, oh, it's relatable because he's on his way to the gym and he's training and this and that. But I think the relatability is going to go to the next level eventually, where people are going to be like, look, we just want to see what we could achieve naturally. Because the truth of the matter is, the large majority of Gen Pop is natural. And a lot of them can't really relate to a lot of these guys online, so.
Well, Gen Pop, I don't know, but the people that watch YouTube videos, fitness, and the bodybuilders, the people that are into bodybuilding, I would disagree. I would say most of them are not natural. The bodybuilders, the people that are really into fitness. Maybe the people you see at your gym, but it doesn't really represent. Like, you go to a bodybuilding gym, most people are on gear or they took gear.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Gen Pop. Like the general population, most of them are not bodybuilders.
But that's not the people watching fitness content. You know? I don't think those are the people watching fitness content. Those people would watch more, I don't know, 8 Lean X or like really mainstream fitness influencers.
Well, I guess it depends what channels we're talking about.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say everyone watching Jeff Nippard's on stuff, you know? I wouldn't say everyone watching Omar Isuf is on stuff. I wouldn't say...
No, but the young people, the young generation, most of them are trying to take something. Yeah, I get a lot of questions on my Instagram, and I mean, I've been in a lot of gyms in my whole life, and sometimes 17, 18-year-old kids, maybe not all of them, but I would say 50% of them, they're either trying to take SARMs or something.
Yeah.
SARMs became very popular because It's not something people inject. So, yeah.
What I'm saying is the large majority of people, if you go downtown, you ask 1,000 men.
Yeah, but
do you want to look like this bodybuilder? They're not going to say yes.
I know,
they're going to
but
be like, they would have a body like you, or like just a lean beach body.
I know, that's right. Yeah.
So I think that's where the relatability comes into play.
Yeah.
And yeah, but the moral of the story is there's something out there for everybody. So if you want to watch those guys, those mass monsters, you got that. If you want to watch the natural guys, you got that. So it really dives into your personality and where your values are and where you personally are right now. And that's going to dictate a lot of the channels you're going to watch. So I personally think that there still is a big space for the natural community. And whether it's a small space or not, it's all good because we're just going to keep posting our stuff anyways. And
yeah, but also I don't think that's naturals. It's not like if we're against people that are on enhanced, you know. It's not that. Me, I don't care if someone is enhanced or not. Honestly, I don't care. Like I would do YouTube videos and film content with someone that is enhanced. Not that I don't want it to be like, oh well, if you're not natural, you're not part of us. For me, I don't really care about that. For me, it's I love the bodybuilding lifestyle. It's more of a bodybuilding mindset. I don't really care honestly if someone is enhanced or not. Like I would actually work out and hang out and build stuff and content, but it's a lot of people want to reach a good physique, but they think that it's unachievable naturally. And that's why I'm using the natural stuff in my Instagram videos so people can know that it's possible naturally. Right. You know what I mean? But it's not because you're natural that I will like you more. You know what I mean?
Of course. And that's a misconception with a lot of naturals. They think they deserve like a medal.
Yeah.
As a natural, but the thing is, it's not an us versus them attitude. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even make us us. It's like if I'm saying, well, I have a beard, you have a beard. It's a big deal.
It's a choice that you took. And sometimes, I might use it as like clickbait titles, but generally speaking, it's not.
Doesn't mean much.
It doesn't mean much, man. So let's dive into like your prep, man, because I know you're in prep. How many weeks out are you? Tell us more about that.
8 weeks out.
8 weeks out.
8 weeks out, and now the calories are dropping. Trying to get leaner. It's going pretty well, you know. The first up until 9-8 weeks, you shouldn't suffer, honestly, because you're actually enjoying it. The calories are pretty good. You're eating a lot of carbs. Now it's time to lean down a bit, get drier, and that's where the cardio is high. Carbs are pretty low. I'm eating carbs only pre and post workouts right now, and I'm doing around 150 grams of carbs, you know, and I'm pushing myself in the gym. Big leg workout today. I'm 160 pounds. Pretty lean, so you can imagine my body needs I'm 5'7", but I do have a high muscle mass, and just eating 150 grams of carbs a day, you get depleted very easily. You get drained. I'm doing almost 20,000 steps a day.
20,000.
20,000. So I'm going that route of the low intensity cardio. A lot of people can also choose high intensity for 45 minutes, keeping the heart rate up, just getting those calories burnt. But for me, I'd rather go lower intensity just because we're naturals. It's easier for us to lose muscle mass. As a natural, it's so much easier for you for your body to get stressed. So doing something like someone that is enhanced, as a natural, you won't have the same results. You'll see enhanced bodybuilders that will wake up and do an hour of fasted cardio. Do that as a natural, trust me, you'll be drained, bro. You'll be drained after that hour. You won't be able to get to your sessions. I mean, it's possible, but it's gonna eat up a lot of your muscle mass. You know, it's so much.
What's your protocol right now for your conditioning?
Right now, I train in the morning. I have my pre-workout meal in the morning, which is cream of rice, a protein shake. I get my workout done. Then I have my post-workout meal, again, some carbs and protein. And then I'll do my cardio later on. I try to separate them as much as possible. And it's mostly walking for cardio. Mostly walking. My goal is preserving my muscle mass, getting my steps done, burning calories, but also keeping my performance at the gym high. You know?
So there's no bike or elliptical?
No, just walking.
Just the
walking
steps.
Or incline walk. So sometimes I would do the treadmill, but incline walk. I tried running 3 days ago or 4 days ago. Just didn't feel good. My body was really stressed after, really drained. Yeah. And that's why it's good to listen to your body. It's good to have a coach, but it's also good that you listen to your body because you know your body better than anyone else. If you're doing that 45 minutes of Stepmaster, and you feel like really bad the whole day, maybe it's better that you burn those calories in a different way with a lower intensity style cardio.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting because there's different forms. Like there's the step route.
Yeah.
Then there's the steady state route.
Yeah.
And there's like the interval route, you know?
Yeah.
The interval could be like anywhere from like, I don't know, 20 to 22 minutes. It could be something like that. And you're just going fast. 30 seconds, take like a minute, 90-second rest. Like that's one approach. Then the steady state would be like 30 minutes. We're staying at this, we're being at 155 beats per minute. You got the step route, and then some people mix them all three.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, for me, I would much rather do the lower intensity, as low as possible. Seriously, as low as possible, as a natural. You don't want to stress your body, and you don't want your body to use muscle glycogen for the energy. When you're going super fast, your muscles, well, your body will start using muscle glycogen. But when you're going slow, it's not as stressful on your body, and your body will take a bit more time to produce that energy. So that's where you actually go in the fat, you know. So that's what works for me, and I'm feeling great on it. I'm doing 20,000 steps every single day, and I'm getting leaner. And trust me, I don't even feel like it's cardio because I'm going outside. The weather is nice. It's sunny outdoor. I go in the nature kind of environment, a lot of greens, and I just walk, you know.
So how many calories do you predict you're burning from the 20?
1,000.
Roughly
Yeah.
1,000, huh?
I have it on my phone, but it says 1,000, which it would be the same thing. Yesterday 1,000, 1,100 before. I would say this is like a give or take approximation, but you can burn the same amount in 45 minutes high intensity, but it's the stress factor that is not the same.
Exactly.
It's the stress factor, and that's what a lot of people overlook. They're just trying to get the cardio done, get the calories in, get the calories low, but they forget that this is just the tip of the iceberg. What really matters is the hormonal effect that comes from all of that. You know, doing the high intensity and dropping your calories a lot, cutting carbs a lot, training hard. Exactly. Your body will be so stressed, and your body is just gonna give you a certain amount of result up until your body says, okay, I'm done. And that's where you start messing up your metabolism. Vicious cycle where you drop the calories you're burning, well, your metabolism slows down, stress is high, your body goes into that fight or flight mode. Trust me, I'm in it right now sometimes, the fight or flight mode. When the calories are low, you get frustrated.
It's true though, because especially as a natural, like you can only pull your calories so low.
Yeah.
And you can only do so much cardio to burn calories. So the most logical step is to get the steps in.
Yeah.
It's the most low impact.
Exactly, low impact. And you gotta remember, our main focus is the training, is maintaining muscle mass. That's the main focus. So that's why I get my workout done first, because I don't want to impact my training. I don't want to go to the gym and after 5 sets be like, I'm done, I can't do it anymore. I want to do all my workout. And that's where I really feel like it's very important. You know, a lot of people on prep, I see them, they start kind of dropping a lot the weight and the intensity in their trainings, just so they can pull calories lower and they can do more cardio. But then it's like, you might as well just keep the intensity at your gym, at your training high, so you maintain more muscle mass, so your metabolism is higher. You know, it's easier that way. You make your body work for you instead of like fighting it.
Right.
Yeah. But let's see. I'm 8 weeks out. Let's see if this works. You know, I'm still going, but I feel good. I'm pretty confident. I'm getting leaner and leaner, so that's good.
Because it's not a get skinny contest, you know.
Exactly.
We're trying to maintain as much tissue as possible.
Exactly. It's bodybuilding. You don't want to arrive on stage and look like a skeleton.
No.
Especially for naturals, bro. So many times I look at guys that are natural or shows, and I'm like, what the heck? Like seriously, the guy is like 140 pounds, 5 feet 10. That's very low, you know. Like you shouldn't even be competing. It's not bodybuilding at this stage, and that's why for natural bodybuilding it's hard, because you gotta go through the years. I would say 10 years. You gotta build that tissue, build that mass, and that's where your body gets used to having that much mass. So when you start leaning down and going in an extreme kind of approach that I'm doing now for a bodybuilding competition, your body will be more likely to hold on to that tissue because you've been carrying for so long that muscle mass. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I think that's where some of the muscle maturity comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how true that really is, but at the same time, I think there's something there.
Yeah, I would say muscle maturity is also the capacity for your body to keep holding that muscle mass even when you're dieting down very low. You would see people that have been training for 20 years. I have a friend. This guy's been training for a long time. He was a bodybuilder. He says he's natural, I believe him. Anyways, the goal is that now he's doing something totally different. And the guy can eat just 1 meal a day now, but his arms are insane. He looks insane because he was able to do it for so long, maybe 15 years that he trained. And now even if he's not maximizing his diet and nutrition and training, it's easy for him to maintain. It's so much easier to maintain. So the guys that are training for 2 years naturally and they want to compete right away, bro, what are you doing? You know, because you think you have a lot of muscles at 185, 5'7", 5'8". Wait until you start leaning down and getting shredded and seeing those veins on your abs. Trust me, you're barely gonna have any muscles. You look in the mirror, you'll look like a skeleton. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, your friend Alex, he was on stage at 150, right? And this is a guy that has a ton of muscle. This is a guy that is been doing it for over a decade, a ton of muscle. 5'6", 150 on stage. I'm 156 now, 5'7", and I still got a good 5 pounds to lose. You know, so. Yeah.
It's very common. You see a lot of guys who, you know, they're on the heavier side, they're more husky, and they're like, look, once I lose 20 pounds, I'm good. But oftentimes, it's not only double, oftentimes it's actually triple what they think. So it's like, nah, if you want to get like, if you want a flat stomach, then for sure, like maybe 40 pounds but like to get like lean, shredded, like we're talking like 60 pounds for a lot of guys, you know?
And bro, you know, sometimes what's funny is that I see the people at the gym that are putting their hoodie on and they look pretty big in the hoodie and everything. But for me, what's impressive is seeing someone in a tank top and seeing the details, the muscles. Because everybody can look big on a bulk with a hoodie on.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's muscles, you know. And yes, you will lift heavy weights because you're heavier, but wait until you go on a cut and you put a tank top on, and that's where you're looking at your shoulder after those side raises and you see every single fiber and the veins popping. That's where you look at the guy and you'll be like, this guy, that's real muscle. You know what I mean?
Because you can't hide it. You can't
hide it, but that's the real muscle because there's no fat. You see the details. Everybody can look impressive and big with a hoodie on. But show us the details in a tank top of your shoulders, low fat, and maintaining that muscle mass. That's where I would say the muscle maturity and the years come into play, you know?
That's why a lot of people are uncomfortable shirtless because you're really putting yourself out there. You can't. There's no security blanket.
Exactly.
You know.
And now people look at me sometimes when I'm pumped, and I'm pretty sure they're like, the other day, last Friday, a guy told me, how many steroids do you take a day? I mean, that's a stupid question because I don't even know what's the answer to that. But he's like, we're just talking. We're speaking in Arabic, so he felt a bit more confident comfortable with me. And he's like, so tell me, what's your steroids protocol or whatever? And I'm like, bro, I mean, if I would tell you I'm natural, you wouldn't even believe me because I was so pumped. And when you're natural and you're lean and you get a pump, it looks like you're enhanced because then you start seeing all those veins, and that's why. But then it's like, don't get too lean before building the muscle mass. So that's why I say take years. Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, so let's dive into some social media stuff.
Yeah, social media. What do you want to talk about?
So I personally think regarding social media that there's a lot of smoking mirrors, you know, and a lot of people, rightfully so, are putting their best foot forward. So, you know, it makes sense. But it's very easy for especially the younger generation to fall into the trap of, you know, comparing themselves to other people.
Yeah.
Not knowing that, okay, this person, first of all, they're pumped after a session. They're under some good lighting. They might be using a good lens. You know, they ate the right things before.
Yeah.
So they're carved
the
up.
Angles, all those stuff.
And the angles, so you take in all these factors and then you're comparing yourself, you know, under some crappy lighting with no pump, you know, first thing in the morning, this and that. And that's not even going into like the filters some of these people are using. So over time, even myself, I had to really distinguish the difference in reality because I saw a lot of people online and you see them in person, like, wow, it draws a completely different story. So online, yes, it's real, but it really is a highlight reel.
100%. I agree. And then the thing is that when people see that, they start having false expectation and they start feeling bad about themselves, and maybe it encourages them to take PEDs. Because imagine you're 17 or 18 or 20 and you've been training for 5 years and you see someone that is 17-year-old and saying he's 225 and benching 4 plates. or maybe either he's enhanced or he's like putting crazy lighting that his body looks insane. Well, you at 20, you'll be like, I'm giving it everything. I've been training for 4 years. Might as well just take steroids, right?
Yeah. But even at that, like even a lot of guys who do hop on stuff, they don't even know how to read food labels. A lot of these people.
Yeah.
So you really think they're gonna read like the studies? They really think they're gonna be doing their blood work and understanding what they're really getting themselves into?
I don't even think they do. But yeah, no. To go back to your point, yeah, of course, people will put their best pictures of themselves on social media. It's not even reality. Social media, it's like fake money. It's like monopoly money, you know.
Right, right.
So it's just, yeah, you just gotta. It's just a game. It's just a game. I feel like social media, we just never have to take it seriously. Just use it for business, and yeah, it's just a game. Yeah.
Right. But what I respect about your stuff, man, like if you guys are not subscribed to Charif's channel, or if you're not following him on IG,
yeah,
you know, check it out.
You can check me out. Yeah.
If you want some real inspiration from a real natural, and you don't want all these gimmicks, you don't want, not to say the gimmicks, but if you don't want like Charif's as raw as it gets. If you want like no filters, just a guy posting off his iPhone and just telling you what it is, and just posting, you know, high frequency content and just showing you how his life is, you know, at all hours of the day, in the kitchen, the gym, walking around, this and that. It's pretty much not going to get any more raw than Charif, because he doesn't even sharpen his photos, nothing. It's just what you see is what you get. And
I keep it as raw as possible, yeah. I prefer people seeing me in real life and saying I look bigger than in social media, or better. You know, you don't want someone to see like a crazy photo of you and then be like, hey, I thought you looked bigger or better in real life, but then they see you and they kind of disappointed, you know. So yeah, but I have to improve my content. I haven't been putting a lot of time and work into it because I kind of fell into the likes. You know, after I got few videos that went over 1 million of me flexing and posting natural bodybuilding, whatever, viral video, it's like if my mind always wanted to get those jackpots of getting viral videos. But that's the trap, because then my content wasn't as raw, honest, or real, because all I was posting is videos of me flexing, and it gets boring, you know. I wanted to do more stuff about me, my life, what I eat, what I cook, but then every single time I would share something like that, you wouldn't get engagement. You know, I would get like 100 likes on that video as opposed to getting 10,000 likes, seriously. And then it started playing with my head, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should only post viral stuff. But that was the trap, because then it's like if I built my following just by viral videos, and I couldn't just, so that's when now I want to change it. I want to just talk more about myself and who I am, and I don't care about the engagement. And that's a trap, you know. We all look at the engagement and it plays with your mind. Yeah.
But I think those engagement posts are still good to bring people to the page.
Yeah.
But once they come to the page, they have the stuff that you really want to post.
Exactly, yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with music. Some people, sometimes the labels will tell the artists, we want you to make this the main song, and the artist may not like it. But then when you listen to the album, there's more deep stuff.
You're right, yeah.
Sometimes it's more of like an attention grab.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. I gotta combine them, because a lot of people come to my page and there's nothing else than videos of me flexing on Instagram. I do a lot of more informational stuff on YouTube, and I'm happy with how the YouTube is going, but man, YouTube takes so much longer to build. You know, I'm at 4,200 subscribers. I look at it every day, but it's not the same as Instagram. Instagram, you post one viral video, you can go up to 10,000 followers in a day. Seriously. You know?
So that's why I always say Instagram, I consider more like instant. It's what's hot right now.
Exactly.
YouTube to me is more timeless.
Yeah.
I still watch YouTube videos till this day.
100%.
2008.
Yeah.
This is almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But like, are you really looking at somebody's IG posts from like 10 years ago?
Exactly, yeah. That's so
Probably
true. That's
not.
why I love
You're going to be doing a lot of scrolling if that's the case.
That's true. And that's what I love about YouTube, is that you can go on the search and say, let's say neck strengthening. You've had a viral video of neck, and you'll find it now, right?
No.
Even if you did it, let's say 50 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, you'll still find it. And that's what's cool about YouTube, is that it's like the evergreen content that is timeless, like you said, that's always there. That's why I'm trying to post it. And I believe that if you want to become, let's say, an influencer, fitness, public figure, whatever, you really have to build up your YouTube for it to be a long-term thing.
Right.
Because just building your Instagram, there's always going to be a next one. There's always going to be someone that is also natural, has been doing it for as many years as you, and looks better than you. There's always going to be someone that has a better physique. Instagram is more about the looks, the beauty, the physique, but all of those stuff, you'll never have the best, you know. But YouTube, people can really connect with you and listen to your podcast, your video as they're walking, and feel like you're their friend, you know, and kind of know you. And that's where you build a real audience. Yeah.
You can only go so deep in like 60 seconds on a reel.
Yeah, on a reel it only goes so deep, and
you could really see the transparency of people when, you know, you're talking to them in like these long form videos, or even like 10 to 20 minute videos. You could give a lot more context.
Yeah.
And that's personally why I like YouTube. So every platform really has their place. You know, TikTok's too, like it's even shorter.
Yeah.
So it's like that. There's something there as well.
That's true.
So you're just poking people from different angles. You got the long stuff. You got the medium stuff. You got the really short.
And
stuff.
the people's attention span on Instagram is so much lower. People are on Instagram because they want to see shiny stuff. They want to see the diamond shining. Like, that's just an analogy, but they want to see the crazy body, the crazy car, the money, the girl, the booty. That's all they want to see. That's what they're scrolling. And that's why sometimes I look at your videos and I'm like, man, this guy put so much effort and great content. But you're putting it on a platform where people don't even have a second to give you.
Right.
Because
I agree.
Because they're scrolling, and the first second that they're seeing is you with a mic near a machine and a client waiting to explain how to use this machine. Bro, 99.99999% after 1.1 second, they're already gone. They've already watched 4 or 5 other videos. They already scrolled it.
Yeah, the attention span is low.
Attention span is low, so that's why it's like...
It's more suited for short content, like...
Yeah.
Even 1 minute's long on IG. It has to be
it's so long, bro. My videos that went the most viral, 6-7 seconds. And it goes back to the point of saying, well...
Well, that's the thing. You can make the argument, does it have to go viral? Does that make it a good video?
Well, I think so.
What are we trying to do here, you know?
I think so. But the thing is that if it doesn't go viral, not a lot of people will see it, because then Instagram won't share it. Yesterday, I made a video of me talking while doing my cardio. 100 people saw it in the first 10 minutes. That's like impossible for me, because the algorithm didn't push it. So you can't blame the people doing it. You want to blame someone. I mean, you can blame the algorithm, but that's just the game. So it goes back to the point of saying, well, people are putting their best physiques. Well, that's just what they have to do to build up their content, because people...
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why you can't blame people that are using the crazy lighting and the crazy videos and the clickbaity stuff, because if you want to blame someone, you can blame the big tech companies,
right.
You know? Blame Meta and Instagram that have this algorithm. But then maybe they're doing it for a purpose, so people are always stuck on their phone, you know. So
well, I'll never blame anything, because all these things people are doing, I could do it too.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
So everything's just a tool, and
the
tools are only as good as the application. So if you want to do, for example,
that's it.
If someone makes content and they want to, like, I don't know, make a video on some celebrity workout, you know, they could do that, and they'll probably get a lot of engagement, because it's a style of content. A lot of people look up to those celebrities, and they have a guy like a trainer who's critiquing the workout.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, everything.
You know, one time I listened to a Guy Ritchie. He's a producer. He said, "Don't hate the game, and just be an outsider and losing at life, but learn how to play the game, become good at it, and win. You know, even if it's not the game that we would choose." I don't like posting viral videos of me flexing. You know, 5 years ago, I didn't even have Instagram. I don't even think I did have Facebook, but I would never thought I would post a video of me topless without my shirt on Instagram. I would never do that. Like, that wasn't even me. But then I'm like, okay, I want to grow who I am online. That's just what you have to do. You know, try doing videos with a shirt on as opposed to without a shirt, and you're not gonna get the same reach. So you just gotta learn the game and accept to get broken a bit, you know, because we all have our way of thinking, but sometimes we just have to change them and adapt them to get the desired result, you know. So that's what I believe. Yeah.
This is the game of the fitness world, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
It just is what it is. So there's no...
It is what it is. So instead of being like, oh, this guy is viral and he's using lighting and hating on it, I'm not saying that you are, but a lot of people would. I'll be like, well, He's doing it right. He's smart enough that he was able to get that engagement. What can I do to grow it like this? Because at the end of the day, it's always about getting more followers. If you're a coach, getting more coaching clients, but then making more money. Like fitness influencers' main goal is basically having that fame life, but also making more money, right? That's just the reality of it. Sponsorships. Why do you want to get a sponsorship? To make more money. Not because you want to wear the Gymshark stuff. Okay, yeah, that's cool. You're getting it for free. But you also want the money that comes with it, bro. Let's be real. If I would tell you now Gymshark will sign you for $10,000 a month, would you be like, no, I'm happy staying where I'm at? No. So yeah, it's all a money game. So we just have to be smart, and it's just a business like any other. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah. I think it's funny because the more time I spend in the industry, the more you see the fakeness of it too. You see just different angles of it.
Yeah.
And I think this stuff has always been happening, but now with social media, you could clearly, it's just as clear as day. You can see people's personalities, and it just is what it is, you know. But like you said, it's about the lengths that people will go for money.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a wrong thing, man. I don't think it's a wrong thing. I don't think people have to show their personality if they don't want to, you know. If all they want to do is post viral contents, good on them, bro, and they want to just stay private. I actually would prefer that. You know, I don't think it's wrong. I think seeing it in a way where it's like, oh, this guy is fake. I don't think so. I think they do whatever they want, you know. Now someone influencing people doing other stuff, that's something else. But yeah.
Let's dive into some nutrition.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned you were a chef for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I studied cooking.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I studied cooking. It's something that I love. I loved cooking. I studied cooking. I went to professional cooking school in Montreal, and I worked as a chef. Well, not as a chef, but line cook, chef de partie, so chef of a section for 5-6 years. But it was very stressful, a stressful job. And I think the main cause of me leaving that job is because my passion for bodybuilding was so much higher. Because I had to do 12, 13, 14-hour shifts. And sometimes I had to eat on the go, eating standing, eating some French fries or pieces of bread that got burned being toast and were left over. So I would grab a bite of those. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I'm messing up my health. I'm gaining fat. I'm not able to focus on my trainings to work as a cook, because that's what it takes with being a cook. So that's where I went a little bit. Well, it's after the lockdown, I went 100% on training. Yeah. But that doesn't have anything to do with nutrition, because being a cook or a chef doesn't mean you're good in nutrition.
Of course not, but I'm sure it still gave you some environment. You're still in the environment of cooking, and it still gave you some skin in the game, you know?
Yeah.
The two don't go hand in hand, but there's still some correlation there.
Yeah, because you're cooking, but doesn't mean that you know what's a protein. You know what a protein is, but doesn't mean that all cooks know their macros or stuff like that, you know?
Of course. Yeah. Well, a lot of these chefs are
exactly. Yeah. They actually eat very unhealthy. I remember I was working at a very fine dining restaurant, and in the break, most of the cooks, they would go to McDonald's next door, grab a Big Mac. And yeah, I think even I was doing it, you know, just because that was all, it's a stressful lifestyle. But yeah, in terms of nutrition, I did take a course on nutrition online. And that's something that I was pretty passionate about, the nutrition, yeah. So it's good that I learned nutrition and I'm a cook. So it's actually studying cooking helped me a lot for myself, because I can cook very good meals. I can cook very fast. I do my meal prep literally in 1 hour for the whole week. And I know exactly how to make things good. Even when I'm on prep now, I'm not using a lot of fat in my cooking, for example, but I still keep my food very tasty. And I know a few ingredients, let's say, that I can add and make good dishes without them being high calories. Yeah, like the beef stew that you started doing.
The beef stew, yeah.
But you gotta do it my way. You like it more, adding more tomato stuff. I'll show you. Yeah.
That's a cool thing about having like friends who are trainers, that you could bounce ideas off each other. And Charif, like, you know, some breakfast, just some meals in general. Like he runs them by me, and like, you know what? That's actually a better way.
Yeah.
That's a more practical way to cook it.
Like the banana bread.
Yeah, I made a video about the banana bread. So.
Yeah, well, the banana bread, it's pretty much 1 banana smashed. You put 4 eggs in there, 75 to 80 grams of oats, 3 packs of stevia, mix it all up. You can add some berries or blueberries. shoot that in a microwave, 3-4 minutes, and you have yourself a banana bread in the microwave. I eat this every single day, breakfast. As simple as it gets. Because I figured I want to have eggs, but I don't want to get pans and cook pans and then freaking clean them and make the whole thing messy and kitchen. And then it smells like egg in the house. Imagine pan frying eggs every morning. Waste of a time for me. So that's where I was like, you know what? I gotta come up with a microwavable recipe and something sweet because, yeah, I want to have my oats, my banana in there, my eggs. Mixed it all together and I started adding stuff. Yeah, came along well. That's it.
What about meal preps? How many meal preps you do per week?
I do meal prep once a week on Sunday.
Once a week, that's it.
On Sunday it's groceries and meal prep. 2 hours, I'm done for the whole week. But I'm fast. I'm a fast cook. I'm a chef, like I said. I studied cooking. I know how to get my stuff fast. I don't expect anybody to do it in less than 5-6 hours. What I do in 1 hour, there's no way a normal person that haven't studied cooking and worked in kitchen that can do what I can do. Seriously, like one day we'll film my meal prep, you'll come to my place and you'll just set up your camera and you'll see me. I'm running everywhere. I'm cooking my rice while I'm cutting my onions, while the beef is cooking. Once the beef is cooking, I add my tomato paste. Boom, 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 boom. But that's the beauty of working in the kitchen. It helped me be multitasking, you know? Yeah, that's something. It just go fast.
And the restaurants you're at, were they big or?
Oh yeah. Well, I worked at Four Seasons. That was my last job. Four Seasons Montreal. I was part of the team that got 5-star Forbes. So that's a huge thing. But yeah, it was big. It was busy. We had a lot of stars. Celine Dion, Sidney Crosby, Thierry Henry, all of those guys. One day they put me in a room with all the football players. Football players that was playing against the Impact Montreal soccer player team. And I was like a chef that they order in room. And they were like 50 guys, professional soccer players with their physio, this, that. And I was there with my station in their room. There was a huge room. And they were asking me to cook for them. And there was a big line and I was doing them omelets. So can you imagine? That was pretty stressful because they had to get ready for the game in like, I don't know how long. And their time was measured. And I was there cooking each one an omelet. And they all asking a different omelet. So each player comes. And a lot of super famous, I couldn't recognize them. Hey, I want 3 egg whites, 2 whole eggs, mushrooms, tomatoes, ham, and cheese. And I have to do that at the same time. Yeah, what's your order? Do this, do that, do this. Can't mess it up. Working in the kitchen has taught me a lot. Yeah, it's fun.
You have to work under pressure. And
working under pressure and kind of being fast and being able to handle stress. Yeah. I guess that's what, you see me all the time. I like to go fast, but that's just how I am.
Were you fast before the kitchen job? Or
Yeah, I was always fast.
But just quick, yeah.
And that's why I was good at working in the kitchen. Like I had very good positions and I was well paid compared to all the other kitchen jobs because I was very fast. Working on the line on the kitchen, bro, when it's rush hour and it's busy and you've got 20 tables and you've got bills that are printing and you have the steak to do and then you have the salmon and the chicken, bro. I'm telling you, 99.9% of people wouldn't survive a minute. Because while you're making your steak, you gotta think of doing the chicken and then putting the salmon. And then the steak goes with veggies that someone else is cooking. So you gotta make sure the veggies go at the same time. Because then if your steak is ready, but the veggies are not, the steak is gonna get cold. So it's insane. Yeah.
And I saw you were heavier during those days too.
Yeah, I was heavier, but that's what I'm saying. Because that lifestyle, I was just eating junk all the time. That's why I say bodybuilding is an exclusive sport. You can't be a bodybuilder and do a bunch of other things. If you're taking it seriously, if you're just into fitness and want to look good, all right, all good. But you want to be a bodybuilder, you want to optimize your body, you want to get in your best shape ever, bro, trust me, you're going to have to get your meals at the right time. You're going to have to meal prep. You're going to have to make sure that you're not draining yourself at your job, that your life basically is around bodybuilding. And it's a selfish sport because then you have to, like now, I'm training at the times that I want to train and I'm just taking clients in the evening. I'm working a lot less, but I'm a personal trainer, so I was able to build my schedule. But doing this in a 9-to-5 job, forget it. I would have been able, like, I had to bring my Tupperware at work and then every 2 hours maybe or 3 hours getting my meal and then I'm sitting all day, so I'll feel bad. I want to get my steps in. Bodybuilding is an exclusive, very egocentric sport where you really have to build all your life and your day around your training, your nutrition, and everything else is just fat on top of the steak. You know what I mean? But the most important for me, like you train late at night, I don't know how you do it, but for me it's like I realize that I'm more efficient after my first meal in the gym, 8 to 10 in the gym. So every single day I base all my life, all my training, all my clients, all my everything, social life around those times. I gotta every day be in bed at 11, wake up at 6:30, 7. You know what I mean? So it's a very selfish sport, and then you realize that it isolates you, but at the same time, you gotta go a bit extreme if you wanna, get there.
Yeah, I don't train at night every night. I train at night maybe like twice a week.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But even at those, I know that's not optimal either.
Yeah.
Because as the sun comes down, I should be coming down with it.
Yeah.
So like ideally it should be like, 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, got you.
So it's like there are diminishing returns to training too late. Because yes, you have more meals and you're also more tired.
Exactly. You're
so
also
it's not
more tired.
like for me, the sweet spot would be like 10 a.m. to maybe like 5, 6 p.m.
Yeah, after a few meals in.
Yeah. But 10 a.m. I still have like I might have like some solid oatmeal, some fruits, like a shake in me. So it still gives me like something to run on.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's still good, no? But like for me, for me to train at 7 a.m., I could still get it done if I could still like get used to it, but it wouldn't be my desired time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's arguments to be said about training too early. And too late. I feel like the sweet spot really is.
100%. 100%. A lot of people wouldn't be able to train as early as me because you just have one meal in. Yeah.
Nutrition stuff. So when you have clients, for instance, who talk about, when they go out and they still want to live a social life, and we're talking about Gen Pop, we're not talking about bodybuilders here.
Okay, yeah.
And they would still want to drink a bit of alcohol.
Good question.
What do you tell them?
So you want to go out, you want to go to a restaurant. I tell a lot of people, first thing first, prioritize your protein. Don't go out and order a pasta with cheese. There's no protein in there. Don't go out just to order, I don't know, poutine. Don't go for those meals. You want to have a social life, but don't use that as an excuse to eat like crap. Because a lot of people will say, well, I want to have a social life. I do have a social life. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I went to a restaurant. What did I get? I went to a Middle Eastern restaurant. I ordered a plate of grilled filet mignon, kebabs, and chicken. All right, that's my protein. It's grilled. I have this full slices of bread and some hummus. And then I had a little bit of, I was with my aunt, so maybe I had 1 bite of a dessert, 1 or 2 bites. And it's not because I'm on prep or whatever, even before prep, you know me, man. Last time we went out, we always made sure that we were eating clean. I was always like that. So I would tell my clients, prioritize the protein. Avoid fried food. I would tell them 3 rules. Prioritize your protein. So the main dish has to be mostly protein. Doesn't mean that you can't eat carbs, yes, but make sure that you're getting enough protein. Because if you don't eat chicken, of course you're gonna be too hungry and you're gonna overeat the carbs, you know what I mean? Because protein fills you up, protein is satiating. Eating 2 chicken breasts, you'll be so full, you'll be laying on your couch, you wouldn't even want to touch that bread because you ate the protein. So make sure the rule number 1, you're getting enough protein. All right, lean protein. Doesn't mean chicken wings, doesn't mean fried fish, doesn't mean Chick-fil-A fried chicken. A grilled chicken or lean fish or grilled filet mignon or a grilled lean steak, okay, you got the point? Number 2, avoid fried food. Fried food is submerged in fat and oil, very high calories, all right? You know that. People listening know that, so avoid fried food. Number 3, avoid added sugars. So go for fruits. Go for things like fruits if you want a dessert after. But after your meal, it's not a social experiment for you to have your dessert or your cookie, you know? Avoid the dessert. You can have 1 bite or maybe 1 cookie a week. We don't want to go to the other extreme. But the thing is that I realize coaching people is that people have no limit. People don't know how to control themselves. So you're better off being extreme and being kind of more strict with them than telling them, okay, have that cookie. Because then a lot of times I tell some clients, I had a client, I told her have 1 cheat meal in Toronto. She went to Toronto 4 days. You know what ended up happening? She ended up eating every single day Chick-fil-A and cheating on her diet for 4 days. And then she told me, I can't control myself. And that's most people. And I felt bad for her at the beginning. I'm like, you know what? Just enjoy your time. Have a good meal. But most people can't. It's hard. It's hard to have a balance and control yourself. So I would say, even when you're out, You spoke about alcohol. Have a glass of wine. But
What kind of alcohol in particular?
I would tell people, honestly, have a glass of wine or have some gin tonic. I would say avoid the cocktails that are very sugary. You know, the cocktails that have a
Right.
lot of sugars and sugar added cocktails with a lot of juice and Gatorade and whatever they put inside, and some alcohol. It's just too high calories. So I would say avoid that. Avoid the beer maybe because it's also high calories. But it's with alcohol, I would go for, let's say, a glass of wine. But I don't think it's the impact of calories that is very bad, but more the hormonal impact. Because alcohol also has been linked to lowering your testosterone levels, increasing your stress, so increasing your estrogen, lowering your testosterone levels when you're consuming a lot of alcohol. So I guess that's where also having a lot of alcohol can cause drawbacks, But yeah, I would say
when it comes to especially Gen Pop, if someone's really heavy, it's they could train all they want, but if we're trying to lose 100 pounds here, it's the nutrition has to be dialed in.
Oh yeah, you can't outwork a bad diet.
You can't outwork it. Now, if someone's let's say, I don't know, 14% body fat, they're already relatively lean, But if someone it's very urgent for them to lose weight, and they're being very slacky in the kitchen.
Yeah. But it's gonna be a lot easier.
The scale's not gonna budge, So
yeah, but it's gonna be a lot easier for that guy to lose weight, the overweight guy, because he's got so much more to lose.
He has so much more to lose, but at the same time, he or she has all the bad habits that come with it.
That's true.
And the experience of of years and years of.
Yeah.
So oftentimes they'll say stuff I'm eating clean, I don't have any Uber Eats receipts, but it's not just because you're not getting Uber Eats that you're eating clean.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I think oftentimes they miscalculate what they're really taking in.
Yeah.
And this is where a good tool like a scale could come in. And some people get intimidated by the digital scale, but it's not like a life sentence. It's just a tool you can start using to just get the portions down a little bit better.
That's true, but I wouldn't give a scale to an overweight guy trying to lose weight. I personally wouldn't. That's my way of doing it. I wouldn't, because it's the guy is already trying to make an effort, and you come with a scale and be like, okay, now.
No, not on day one.
Even then, they don't even need a scale, to be honest. That's my approach, and it works pretty well. And you don't even want to give him a scale. You'll be like, bro, bump up that protein intake. Eat as much lean protein as you want. People love unlimited stuff. People like that you tell them, eat this unlimited. You tell someone that is 300 pounds, 25, 40, 30% body fat, eat as much lean meat as you want, as much veggies as you want, and as much fruits as you want. They're gonna
lose weight.
They're gonna be happy and they're gonna lose weight. Bro, you're hungry? Eat more Greek yogurt. Eat more eggs. Make a huge bowl of Greek yogurt with berries and fruits inside. Yeah. Eat 5 chicken breasts if you're hungry. If chicken breast is 150, 200 calories, but protein, like I said, fills you up. It's satiating, has a high thermic effect of food.
Right.
20% as opposed to fats or carbs, which is maybe 3-5%.
Right.
So when you eat protein, 20% of those calories are used for digestion. And it fills you up, and it helps you build muscles, increases your testosterone, turns your body into a burning machine. Bro, you want to lose weight? Eat more protein, eat more fruits, apples, oranges, strawberries. 1 pound of strawberries is like 130, 140 calories. And it tastes sweet, it's good, but people have been taught that, fruits are bad because they have sugar. That's BS. Eat as much fruits as you want. Have you ever heard someone saying, I'm too fat because I ate too much apples when I was young? There's no way. Eat as much veggies as you want.
No one's getting fat off salmon. And,
exactly, no one's getting fat off those things.
Breast.
They're getting fat because of their overeating carbs and fried food. And I'm not against carbs. Carbs are your body's main fuel. Your body's source of energy is carbs. Your preferred source of energy is carbs. It's like putting fuel in a car. But why would you get all that fuel every single meal if you're laying on the couch all day?
Right.
Fuel yourself up if you're going to a marathon, or you're gonna go train, or you're gonna build muscles, or you're gonna go run for 2 hours. But you're eating carbs every single meal, you're giving your body all that energy, and you're laying on the couch watching Netflix all day and scrolling on your phone. Where do you think this energy will be? It's gonna get stored somewhere. It's not gonna get stored as muscle because there's no stimulus for the muscle. You haven't lifted weight. You know what I mean? So people overcomplicate stuff, and a lot of people pretend that they know things that they don't really know online. I
agree. I just made a video talking about some people who are overweight, what they little known reasons why people are gaining weight. And one of them is the birthdays, the holidays, if somebody who has a big social circle and they have a lot of friends, they end up going out more. And then the friends oftentimes don't lift. They don't live that lifestyle.
Going out more. Yeah, that's true.
So then what happens is we always tell people, okay, if you're on plan, like stick to the plan.
How many times do you think that? How many time event do you think that would impact them? How many events per week? Because going out once every 2 weeks, I don't see an issue with it.
Oh, me neither, 100%.
Or even once every week, because that means 1 meal out of 50 or out of 30. It's okay, go for that cake.
1,000%.
Because you're winning more days than you lose. You're winning more meals that you lose.
Yeah. But overall, the message here is the principles. Because if you stick to the principles, you keep the protein high. If you keep the carbs reserved for times where you're more active, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
And you eat certain foods, like for example, the strawberry example. Like there's certain
More
foods
fruits.
you could overeat and you're not going to get fat.
Yeah. It's
You just stick to the principles. Like for example, I just went on a trip. I was on a trip in San Francisco and California, and I left the trip. I was 194, 195. I came back from the trip. I was 194, 195.
Exactly.
So this is after like 2 weeks of being there.
Because of all the steps.
I trained twice. The step count was higher.
Protein intake. You had a grilled
Trained
chicken.
3 times.
You had a grilled chicken at a restaurant where most people would have taken a pasta with freaking risotto cheese or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I was having the Wagyu beef. I was having the Jadori chicken.
Exactly.
I kept the protein high on the days where I wasn't training. I made sure I just got higher protein. And if I did get any carbs, or times I didn't really need to, it would have been like, from a sweet potato. It wasn't like big bowls of pasta. So you stick to the principles and...
But also I think that it's because we enjoy it. I really believe that we enjoy, like, I had a client the other day, I gave him a diet plan and he's like, how long do I have to do this for? It's like if I told you this is a plan that will get you $1 million. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna get $1 million. How long do I have to do this for? But meanwhile, you're working at a 9-to-5 job at McDonald's that you hate. I'm like, bro, I'm giving you a plan that will get you $1 million and you're asking me how long? So it's a mindset switch. And I really believe that people might go wrong, but people are becoming weak. People are becoming super weak.
But that's why I tell people, like, you don't have to lift weights. Like, you could do other forms of activity. Like, you could do calisthenics.
Yeah, you can go for walks and lose a lot of weight.
You could be rock climbers are pretty fit. Like, there's other activities. So that I think some people who genuinely don't like lifting weights, they think that, okay, if I do like a 3 to 6 month cycle of Phil, of training cycle,
I'm gonna get in my shape,
and then I can just stop training and I'm good. But it's like, if you don't like the iron, if you don't like training,
it doesn't work that way.
And same with the nutrition, like, okay, I'm gonna eat like this for 3 to 6 months,
and then I'll just go back to eating.
It doesn't work like that. So it's just.
I had a very overweight client. I'll talk about him, but I want to say about people are becoming weak. Seriously, the dopamine rush. We all want the dopamine, and guys, for those who've been following me, because I'll put this on my channel too. You'll put it on your channel. So I have people that follow me, and they know that I talk about NoFap, and why it helped me, because it made me stop chasing the source of dopamine that comes with fapping, that's scrolling, and dopamine is your hormone of pleasure that your brain releases. Okay, it can be released by eating junk food, watching pornography, fapping, gambling, but also it can come from training. After a walk, you feel good. After training, after eating healthy, you feel good, right? So it gets us used to the fast source of dopamine. Dopamine shouldn't be that easy to access, because then it messes us up. Because now everything that is easy pleasure, we get used to it. We want to go for the cookie. We want to go for the scrolling. Why would I go to the gym to be happy? I can just eat my cookie or scroll or watch pornography. So that's why I believe people are becoming weak, because now you tell them, well, you're gonna delay that pleasure. And it's called delayed pleasure. It's short-term kind of suffering for long-term pleasure. But it's not even suffering, but you'll tell them, well, you will have to short-term stick to something to get more pleasure later on. Most people don't want that. Most people don't want that. You tell people invest $1,000 now, and in a year it's going to be $5,000. 90% of people will tell you no, because they want to keep that $1,000 now. And that's the problem of society. So I think we go in the food and tell them to eat this. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Because trust me, I've told my clients, like a broken radio, eat this, eat this, eat this, eat this. But when they're so used to getting that fast source of dopamine, because they're scrolling, they're fapping all day, they hate their job, their only source of pleasure is the food. I have a client, her only source of pleasure is the food. That's it. Single woman in her 40s. I mean, not to talk bad about her, but she hates her job. She's not happy. She's very stressful. And when you're super stressed, your body seeks very fast source of pleasure because you're stressed. You want to compensate with that stressful job. Try having 5 bad news and go for work for a 12-hour shift and then come back, no food in your system. Your body will be so stressed, fight or flight mode. What is the first thing you do? You open up the fridge, or you open up Uber to order food, or you go stop at McDonald's because you want to eat, you want to feel good to calm that stress. So most people, you're fighting a battle that is not really the battle that we should be fighting, because you'll be like, eat chicken, eat grilled chicken. But for this guy, grilled chicken is poison, because the only fun time in his day is eating that fried McDonald's stuff. You know what I mean? I had an overweight guy, obese guy, 20-year-old. I was going to his house every single week. I was doing groceries with him, me and my friend. He was a family friend. I would never do that for clients. He was a family friend. His mom was desperate. She called me. The guy was like 300 pounds. Bro, I went to his house. I changed his whole food. I changed everything. Groceries, this, that. And that's what I'm saying. When people are very overweight, the habits are so deep down in them. He had no friend. He was overweight. He was obese. The only way for him to kind of deal and cope with life is through a chocolate bar or donuts or sweet stuff, you know?
So what happened after with that guy?
It's never led anywhere. I would go on a diet.
Didn't help.
Bro, I would go on. Now he did a surgery to lower his stomach. You know, the surgery to close up, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna gain back the weight. You know what's crazy is that his mom was against me. His mom would call me, tell me, I want you to help him lose weight. I can't do it anymore. She would cry. I would go to their house, change everything, cook for him. Bro, eat this, eat this, eat this. Next thing you know, his mom is feeding him chocolate because she feels bad for him. She's like, I felt bad for him, so I gave him chocolate. And then he would go from 1 chocolate to 10 chocolate. And I'm like, I just can't do anything, because I'm telling him, and I gave him just a bit of a walk. We got him a treadmill from Facebook Market. We got him everything set up. But when people are so deep down in this lifestyle, their only refuge is food. So as soon as something goes, because he was getting bullied, because he had big man boobs. I mean, poor guy. But then you realize that food for him wasn't just food, but it was his only friend. Escape.
Yeah.
So that's why when people are overweight, we gotta go a bit deeper, and that's why it's more a psychological thing.
1,000%, yeah.
And I don't want to do that, because I want to help you get in your best shape, but I'm just a trainer. I don't have the energy.
Well, especially since you went the extra mile by going to the grocery store with him.
And bro, his mom would be like, I'm like, are you, I don't want to say his name by mistake because he follows my stuff. He's a cool kid, but his mom would be, I'm like, are you sure that's all he ate? Because he did his 8,000 steps. I told him to eat this, and she's like, yeah, yesterday night it was his cousin's birthday, so I gave him a chocolate, so he had a cheat meal. Okay, hey bro, you had a chocolate? Yeah, I had a cake too, and we went to a shawarma place. And I'm like, man, it's like an alcoholic that is very addicted to alcohol, a drug, because food is a drug. And then you just give them 1 bite or 1 sip. Forget it, they're gonna fall back into it. And that's the thing with overweight people, is that they need full encadrement, full freaking support.
Supervision.
Full supervision, yeah. And you literally gotta take them out of where they are. Because for them, they're home. They think about their home. They think about them on a sofa, eating and watching Netflix. So you gotta take them away from those. That's why the biggest losers, sometimes they work, even if afterwards they might not work, because they take them away of that environment. They're fully supervised. Overweight people that are obese, it's like a drug addict, because they're addicted to food. And it's not a bad thing to say, it's the reality. And just telling them, bro, increase your protein. Okay, I'll eat more chicken, but after I eat my Mars bar and my Oreos, because that's the only way I'll feel good, because all my friends are bullying me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. It's either you have it or you don't. And when you don't have it, it's deeper than just the nutrition. And that's why I used to always like want to give nutrition plans. But now it's like, the guy knows he can go on Google if he want to lose weight. You know?
Sorry. But that's why the real coaching is, and this is why they say it's personal training and not just training.
Yeah.
Because there's a big psychological and personal side to it, where and people say you can't be a generalist But to a certain extent, you have to be a bit of a generalist. If someone's talking about deeper problems, you're not just gonna always say, "Oh, go see a counselor." Sometimes you have to actually internalize what they're saying, understand where they're coming from. You come with myself. I have a lifestyle/nutrition questionnaire, and I have a training questionnaire. So I have a call with the client. So I gather as much information I need, and I understand. Okay, we're not given your history and your background. We can't go 100 miles an hour because I got to get some wins under your belt, you know? And there's just, and some people you have to tell them straight up, like, look, this is not your summer. Next summer is going to be your summer. So it's going to take longer than you think. And that's okay, because I'm going to show you ways that you're most likely going to like it. Because sometimes, and that's the thing too, sometimes the changes are not as big as we think. Sometimes they think I'm going to give their whole lifestyle a facelift, but not necessarily. Like some of the foods they like, I'm going to keep those foods in.
Yeah, small changes, big impact.
1,000%.
Sometimes you can just tell someone, bro, just walk 5,000 more steps a day. But imagine after 30 days, that's 5 times 30. That's a lot of steps.
Exactly. So that's where the coaching and the individuality comes into play.
Exactly.
And that's personally what I get off on with the coaching. It's like I like being the problem solver. I like bringing the fixes.
And you like giving small fixes that people didn't think it was that intense. One time I had a client that thought that they had to run to lose weight. I'm like, no, just add your steps. She started losing weight. She's like, wow, I never thought I could just do 2 rounds around my block every single day. And then after a month, I've lost 5-10 pounds.
Sometimes people could give that same person 10 different pieces of advice.
The
same way. Okay, get in a deficit. Someone's saying eat less. They're all saying it in different ways, but then you give them a different perspective. You say it in a different way, and you give them the blueprint. And they're like, you know what, that's better. But everyone else was telling them the same
and that's
thing.
why I'm not a fan of a scale. Because a scale is intimidating. It's like, bro, me, I didn't even touch the scale and I'm on prep.
What kind of scale?
Up until the
digital scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even weighting themselves on a scale. Don't even go there, bro. 12 weeks out, that's where I started really measuring my stuff. But I've been doing it for 13 years, bro. You give me a scale before, I'll throw it away, bro. You know? So that's why I think you want to approach it in another way. Be like, you can have your rice, you can have your pasta, but I want your plate to be at least 2 chicken breasts. And then if you're still hungry, have more bread or have more pasta. But have your chicken breast first and have your veggies first. And then have your pasta. You know what I mean? It's such an easier approach, because then the guy in his mind is like, okay, so I can have as much rice as I want as long as I eat my freaking chicken, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's an easier approach. And that's where training is the business of relationship with a human. You have to be a good communicator. You want to be a trainer that is all like full of his, not talking about you, but the trainers that are full of themselves knowledge. I saw a guy that is like behind his iPad and like trying to be like the trainer, you know, big muscles and stuff. People are not going to be able to relate to that, and they're going to drop him. And
Of course. It's not like your best friend, but you're also like, you're making sure that the relationship is there.
Yeah,
and the client knows this beforehand coming into this, because they're fishing for the trainer and they want to find who's the best fit.
That's true.
And 100%.
And communicating in the right way. Communicating, telling someone that.
But that's exactly, let me cut you right there. That's why, like, you hear a lot of talk about like the AI coaches, and my view on that is we have all the tools online.
We have all the tools.
So why isn't everyone a millionaire, and why isn't everyone super lean? It's because a lot of people need that personal one-on-one guidance. Not everybody, but certain people do.
Most people, I think personal training is one of the jobs that will never go away.
I don't see it. I don't see it going away.
It will never go away.
It's like, and if anything, it's gonna get harder over time for some people, because there's just so much conflicting information.
Yeah.
And you got guys like the Joel Seedmans and just guys who are just putting out information and just confusing people more than anything else. So then down the line, there's gonna be so many videos that people don't even know what's what anymore. And they're gonna be like, look, let me just hire somebody. Let me just do my programming, do this. Let me just follow one thing, because they're gonna try to follow 10 different things at once. They're not gonna get anywhere. They're not gonna be able to track anything.
I guess the goal is that it has to be sustainable.
1,000%.
The coach has to, if we're talking Gen Pop, the coach's goal is to build a plan for his client that is sustainable, that the client can do even after the coach is done his time with him. That's it.
Right.
Sustainable plan. Something that you can do forever. You don't want a client to have results with you and then 3 months after you guys are done your coaching, the guy goes back into his previous state.
And that should be the goal of a lot of trainers. Like,
Sustainability.
It's also an education. I'm also trying to show them, hey, this is how you use the tools.
Yeah.
So I don't need to hold on to
Yeah.
my clients long term.
Yeah, so you tell them, okay, carbs, you're training, that. You're not training this. So then the guy knows, okay, today I'm training and I'm doing a marathon. Maybe I should add my carbs. Tomorrow I'm going on a weekend in a chalet doing nothing. Maybe I should lay off the carbs.
Yeah.
So
if they want to stick with me, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if not, if they're like, look, I learned what I needed to learn. I've been through your system for a couple months. At the bare minimum 3, if they're quick learners, and then they could fly away.
Makes sense. But yeah, training is a big, it's a good topic. I get you. But yeah.
So let's see what else we got, man.
Let's talk about injuries. Some people ask me supplements and injuries. Those things we can cover.
Yeah.
Supplements. Well, let's jump straight into it. What are the supplements that you're taking right now?
The protein powder, creatine, omega. In the winter time, I take vitamin D, and that's it.
That's pretty much all you need. Now, I see a lot of people, especially naturals. Something I see with naturals athletes is that because they're naturals, they would use that as a kind of excuse to buy every legal supplement. So they'll get the BCAA, the EAA, the this, that, Clear Muscle by Muscle Tech. What do you think about this? I get those questions. So then people are spending $500, and I used to be there. And now, honestly, all the supplements I use is protein, creatine, pre-workout, and I do use electrolytes because I'm doing a lot of cardio. But yeah, if I had to choose one, the most important one would be creatine. I see a lot of benefit from creatine, especially for everybody. I love creatine.
Expand on that.
I love creatine. Well, it's really my favorite supplement, It's really my favorite supplement. I made a video on it, but it's really my favorite supplement, creatine. Basically, what I believe the real advantage of creatine comes from is helping your muscles hold on to more water. That's pretty much it. I know they'll say ATP energy and all this. I don't really believe that's what makes it as beneficial. It's really helping your muscles hold on to more intracellular water. More muscles in your water, more hydration, more endurance. They did a study. Anyways, not to go deep in that study, but more hydration, more endurance, more strength, less risk of injury. Your muscles are 70% water. So imagine more water, more strength. So now you're pushing more weight. So you're progressing more. So you're building more muscles. It's not directly going to give you more muscles, but thanks to its hydration impact, it's going to help you also prevent a lot of injuries, prevent cramping, more endurance, and salt. I'm big on salt. I'll salt all my food. I salt my pre-workout. I salt my intra-workout. They did another study where they gave marathon runners 2 groups. One of them salt tablets when they were running or prior. The other one's no salt tablets. And the one that had salt tablets, they all finished the race like 20% before. Because of the impact of salt. Salt also does pretty much what creatine does, helping your muscles retain more water, more hydration. It creates a better environment for the protein, for the carbs, for the growth to happen. And a lot of people do the mistake of avoiding salt. Something else that I tell people, stop avoiding salt. We've heard that salt has been having a bad reputation, but salt is essential. And if you're someone that is into fitness, you'll say, hey, I should avoid my salt because then it makes me puffy, which is BS. Next thing you know, you're sweating. When you're sweating, 90% of your sweat is salt, all right? Sodium chloride. So then you're not regenerating it. What happens is that now your body is super stressed. Your body doesn't have enough salt. Salt is essential for nerve and muscle contraction too. Just goes into a deep, but salt, guys, salt is super important.
Yeah, my performance improved when I started adding more salt.
Insane.
And a lot of guys in the industry like stand everything, they swear by it.
Oh yeah, insane.
100%.
When I started
vertical diet, stuff like that.
Vertical diet is big on red meat too. I'm a big fan of red meat too, thanks to its all its nutrients in there, the B12, the iron, the zinc. I'm big on red meats. I prefer red meat well over chicken or white fish. But yeah, that's really, I believe that red meat is the superfood. And
it's actually because of Charif, man, that I started upping my
your red meat intakes. Honestly, red meat.
Because I find chicken, and you mentioned this too, but when I was mostly into chicken, it just tastes more dry. It's like obviously it's good if you put the sausage and marinate properly, but I can eat ground beef every day, no problem.
And for me, it is about the taste, but it's also about how I feel. I feel so powerful. Why do you think all the strongmen? Have you seen a strongman diet? They're eating ground beef. 400-500 grams, Brian Shaw, 400-500 grams of ground beef every meal. Why aren't they eating chicken? Not because ground beef has more fat, no. It's because of its micronutrients. It's not just about the macro, the protein, fats, carbs, but the micro, the vitamins, the minerals in there. Yeah. That's why also I'm a big fan of whole eggs, you know, whole eggs.
So what's your thoughts on people saying with that you shouldn't eat the whole egg?
Well, that's BS because
myth.
I'm a big fan of whole eggs. Unless you're really in contest prep and you really have to cut your fats down, but I'm in contest prep now and I'm keeping 3 whole eggs. Whole eggs are very beneficial. Actually, many things. First thing is that the protein in the white, we'll finish with this because I'm getting super tired, but the protein in the white can't get digested without the egg yolk. It's like if the nature God knew. They did a study and people that were just eating egg whites, they were bloated, they were cramping, and the protein wasn't as absorbed as well. And there's something in the egg white that actually strips your body out of biotin. So a lot of people that eat just egg whites, they start losing hair, skin and nails, and it's not ideal for them. But what's good in the egg yolk is that it has a lot of vitamins and minerals. Vitamin K, very hard to get. Vitamin D, choline, biotin. So when you combine it with the egg white, it's just a superfood. And a lot of people, let's say they would fear the egg yolk because they think it has cholesterol. Let's cover this. Your body produces cholesterol depending on how much you're eating. So if you're not eating a lot, your body will produce more. If you're eating a lot, your body will produce less. And cholesterol is essential for your production of hormones, testosterone. So eating your eggs will help you increase your testosterone, which will help you build more muscles, lose body fat. Anyways, what I was saying is that people will fear the fat in egg yolk. How many times have you seen that? People fearing the fat in egg yolk, but then they would add a tablespoon of peanut butter to their breakfast. They're having their oats and egg whites and a tablespoon of peanut butter, but why didn't you have the egg yolk? Oh, it's high in fat. Well, what about the almond butter? It's also high in fat, but the micronutrients in there are not as bioavailable, and there's a lot less protein in there, and there's a lot less vitamins and minerals. So what are you doing? You know, people will say, well,
I wonder where it comes from, that myth.
I don't know. It's probably
that's from like the 80s.
Yeah,
sure.
probably. Well, people were scared of fat, but then they're adding peanut butter. That's a tragedy. Even the protein in the peanut butter, if you think you're doing that because it has more protein, well, your body doesn't absorb the protein from peanut butter or peanuts as well as animal sources such as yogurt, dairy, eggs, meat. You know, it's very hard to absorb the protein. They're not as bioavailable. They're like 60% bioavailable. So you're having 6 grams of protein from peanuts, which isn't even a full, complete amino acid, but you're absorbing 60% of it. It's just a tragedy. People do it just because it tastes good. It does taste good. I love the taste of peanut butter, but it's not ideal for performance. And yeah, injuries. We wanted to cover injuries. A lot of people ask me if I had injuries because we've been training for over a decade, right? Of course we have injuries. I'm actually dealing with one right now, which is in my hamstring, maybe one in my shoulder, but you always find ways to work around it. Always, always, always. Once I injured my lower back, I couldn't even walk, but I was still going to the gym every single day. I was barely walking, but I was sitting on a machine where I was able to sit and do like 10 sets of it, 10 sets of chest press. Then go on a machine of doing triceps, 10 sets, call it a workout. But you gotta work around it, guys. Your body, movement is medicine, seriously. And a lot of people will ask me about injuries. Chronic injuries a lot of times come from a weakness. So let's say yesterday I had a client that had a tennis elbow. I told him it's because of the way you're holding the weights and because your forearms are weak. So strengthen something, but it's always working around it. I think the worst thing you can do if you have a chronic injury is just stop training.
Of course, 100%.
You know? And be like, okay, I have an injury, I'm gonna take off for 2 months. Well, guess what? Once you're gonna be back, the injury is not the cause but a symptom of something you're doing. You know?
That's why when you sharpen up your toolbox, you can understand, okay, I could get around it like this.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a guy on IG, and he's talking about like, okay, he hurt his shoulder, but he wanted to back squat, but he had restrictions getting in the back squat position, the external rotation. So
yeah,
why don't you just use the safety bar squat? You can just hold it right here, or just do a hack squat.
Exactly.
But he was so attached to the back squat, he for whatever reason had to do that lift.
Exactly, and I think that's a good point.
You can always work around.
Talking about that, we can talk also about how people are very attached to the weight they're lifting, and I believe that this is one of the biggest thing stopping you from making gains. Being so addicted to the weights you're lifting.
It's a tool.
But
it's not everything. That's for sure.
Nah, it doesn't mean much.
It's about how you're lifting it.
Yeah, and also chasing the weight. You're in for a big awakening. Chasing only the weight, and just trying to push more and just to impress people on the 3-plate bench. Forget it. Your chest is always gonna be small. I learned that the hard way, and once I started tweaking my training, we can talk about this in the next episode. How I started seeing more gains by changing the weights I'm using. I'm pretty sure the same for you. I remember, I mean, you could easily bench 3-plate, I'm pretty sure, if you focus on it. But your training is a bit different, because when you train as a bodybuilder, you gotta really detach from the weight you're using. You gotta really understand that the weights is just a tool.
It's a tool, yeah.
And the way you're moving it, the time under tension, the way your chest is contracting. If you're benching 3-plate, but your chest is barely hard and all the work is going from your shoulders, big deal. Today I saw a guy in the gym who was squatting 3-4 plates, doing sets of 1 and taking like 4 or 5 minute rest in between. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, what is this guy's goal? If his goal is getting big legs, he's gonna have to, it's not gonna work, because my legs are pretty big, and trust me, I'll do sets of 15, 20 reps, getting that muscle to failure. The goal is getting muscle to failure, and why not doing it with the less risk possible, right?
What's the thing, especially if you're in this for the long haul,
Yeah.
the weight is a tool, but the execution is a tool too. So for example, like, I'm a big fan of like pause reps. I think the change of direction, if you could own it at the top, you can own it at the bottom. If you don't dive bomb into it, so you have a nice eccentric control. If you don't, a lot of people, for example, they do heavy weight, but they rest too long at the top. So you see guys like on a hack squat or squat.
So the time under tension is just,
exactly, they're turning it into 2 sets.
Exactly.
So if you could keep it like a smooth range of motion, a smooth tempo.
Yeah.
And eventually you're gonna reach a point where the tempo is gonna be good, the pauses are good, the execution is good.
That's where you can load up the weight.
And then you can load it up.
Exactly.
But
that's the last resort.
That's the last, you know.
That's the last resort. Yeah, exactly.
That's not the first thing we're going for.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But yeah, man, I like that podcast. I think it's a good first episode, and I hope people will enjoy it. If you guys have any questions or want us to cover something else in the next episode, leave them down in the comment section.
So it's a live podcast. You guys have seen on my channel, I've done, you know, stuff with Skype, online, and that's cool. But like, if someone's in Montreal, or if they're near Montreal, I really like this in-person experience, you know. So it really helps. You could see us both in the same room, and we're just discussing it on a bit of a deeper level where we're literally in the same room and getting that live experience. So
my style of doing it is raw and just saying it how it is, you know.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm gonna go do a bit more cardio because I didn't get my steps in. Gotta finish my cardio. I got a client at 4:30, and that's it.
Let's do it.